So hey guys, welcome back to another exciting video. In this particular video, we are going to understand if suppose you vibe coded the entire application using the help of Claude, then it's time to deploy. Most people as of now make the project as like their resume, but very less number of people, or maybe industry is changing and recruiter will need the more productionized product and project. While AI is growing, you also need to upgrade yourself as a human being to be in the race. Okay, so I have built the entire application. I have spent around 1 month to build this application using the help of my Claude. And guys, I only have the Claude $20 plan. Okay, so let me tell you what kind of things we are going to require. Is there any kind of subscription you need? So let's start with the video. But before we are going to start, this is the first time on YouTube someone is explaining a very simple way, a very exciting way to deploy your application to the internet. Okay, I haven't deployed that. I haven't touched to production. I haven't deployed on Vercel and nothing. I have just finished my app and it's time to deploy. So let's start deploying this application. But before we are going to start, this is the turbo repo architecture that mostly follow. If you ever been wondered and ever been build any kind of open source project, or have you ever done the open source contribution, and if you're getting the chance to see the open source project, then each and every single open source application built on top of this turbo repo. So why this is turbo repo preferred? Why not our normal express and next.js application? So in productionized application, in high level application, we might need a bunch of substituting packages. We have the bunch of applications. So like in our default turbo repo, we have the apps folder and we have the package folder. So these two are plays one of the most important and crucial part throughout our entire turbo repo. Okay, so first come first, apps. Okay, so inside my apps, by default you get the web, but you can add bunch of tens of application. You can add 10,000 application, 1 lakh application, or whatever. I'm just giving an example. This is not the proper way to add that. Okay, so in my apps I have the admin, recruiter and web. So why I am created three separate apps instead of one? We can create that, but each application have its role and accessibility. So managing the proper way to maintain its application and scalable. And what I want, my single database, my single email service, my single AI service can handle my all of the application. So that's why I have created the front end inside apps, and whatever backend database, email, or whatever kind of packages that you need, that lies inside the packages. So this is all about our application that we need to know. Then let's come our next process, dockerize. There are two ways. You can directly deploy this on AWS or GCP. In my case, I have the GCP. Okay, I have just taken the GCP free cloud account. Okay, this is a free tier that you guys also get. Okay, and in that I have created this project. Okay, so for that I have created the productionized docker file called as docker compose prod yml. Okay, in that I need a bunch of services just like Gutenberg. Then I have the piston. Then I have the piston runtime. Then I have the web, means this application. Inside web, what I need, docker file. I also contain a docker file inside the web. Let me show you. So this is the web docker file. So a docker can fetch one docker file from other. Container name is student os web. Restart unless stop. Okay, port allocation, and this is the normal docker file that we use to type or build using the help of AI. Then same goes for the admin, same goes for the recruiter, and that's it. Okay, so this is all of about my entire application. Then it's time to deploy that. For deployment, we need a kind of system design. while you creating the project, when the first thought come into mind, then at that time you also need to think how should I deploy this to the internet, because that plays one of the most important role in today's AI era. So I have created this entire system architecture infra using the help of this eraser tool, and in this we are going to break down each and every single thing. So whenever you get your free hosting, I don't say it's hosting, your free infra from Google GCP, you can feel free to use AWS, Azure, or whatever kind of platform. The system plays the same role. Okay, then next thing is, let's try to understand this our entire system diagram. So one, first we have the three different applications: student, recruiter, admin. We can add the subdomain into that, app.studentos.app, this kind of. Then we add the Cloudflare, their DNS, CDN, and WF, DDoS shield, free SSL. So this is all come with the Cloudflare. If you ever work with the Cloudflare workers and any other thing, that then you will be get this. Okay, then come the next thing, our app tier. Okay, so this is our main virtual machine. Okay, okay, so as I mentioned, we have the three different application. So this is where the software engineers start thinking. So there are two scenarios. In my case, let me explain my scenario. In my case, this is the most usable app in my entire project or entire SaaS. Okay, this is web. This is called as student. Okay, and this web has always be a traffic, and most of the student can come to this web application, and we need to scale this. We don't worry about this too, because this two, or maybe this one, this is for the just admins, or maybe we have the 2 to 3 admins only, so that's not play any kind of crucial role. But this one is hot, this is most important, and this is the second most important. Okay, we don't have any kind of recruiter yet, we don't have any kind of thing, and we don't have this for next 2 to 3 months. Okay, so let's try to understand this very well. But before we are going to start, this is our worker virtual machine, one small virtual machine, always on and privileged. Okay, so in this virtual machine we have the cotton bug, PDF, or research previous VPC, not public, this is not person. Piston need the privilege, this is a completely about the piston. You don't need to understand this, what is privilege, what is, why we need that. This is completely the app side part, you don't need to worry about the system. Okay, oops, sorry. Then let's come back to handle how should we increase our system traffic, and how should we handle the spikes, how should we handle the if we have the maximum number of user, how should we spin up the machine, skill the machine, and like that. Okay, so now we are going to talking about only about this web. Okay, so to scale that, how Cloud Run scale per app, no waste. Cloud Run watch each service live traffic, means we have the web service, we have the recruiter, we have the admin. If suppose our web service have the most of the traffic, then traffic increase, add instance in a second. One warm instance already serve many requests. Okay, if traffic drown, remove instance, recruiter slash admin drop to 0 and 0 idea. Max instance per app, hard cost. Web minimum one machine, no cloud start on any busy path. Okay, it's completely understandable. I have take my all of energy to write this in that way, so you can just read it once and you can understand each and every single thing perfectly. Okay, then I just want to make sure that okay, is everything is looks good or not. Yep. Okay, this is the beauty of eraser. Okay, hoping you got my point. Then this is our external service, we don't need to care about this that much, because this thing. And let me tell you one more tip here, guys. If you ever been wonder, and if you want to productionize your application, then make sure that all of your important services like your database, authentication, AI gateways, or any kind of important service, that plays one of the most crucial role on your application, that you need to depend on someone, because if you pay them, then that is their responsibility to give you the uptime. If they don't, you can obviously claim that. Okay, it's completely understandable. Okay, hope you got my point. Then this is our security layer. Okay, so in that you can see we have the secrets manager. In Amazon Web Services we have the secrets kind of AWS secrets kind of this kind of service. Then we have monitoring, then we have the backup, then this is the CI/CD pipeline. If you ever been wonder, let me show you the my open source contribution to Mastra AI. So if you pick up any kind of suppose this, okay, if we take the example of this, then try to open and go inside the checks. Okay, not here. Let's try to see. Okay, so this is the GitHub actions. So what is happening whenever someone will commit or make their PR, at that time all of the pre-checks, like this is the code rabbit, this is something changes, setbot, Vercel, sonnet, and all of these things are checked. After all of this bot are checked, then come our CI/CD pipeline. What is CI/CD pipeline? Continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay, so this is for the open source contribution, but this is for the open source project, but you can feel free to add, and I recommend each and every single people to add CI/CD in their any kind of project. Okay, so what happened in CI/CD? CI/CD means CI means continuous integration. If suppose we integrate means we build some feature, we add some, we solve some bug and anything else, then it need to go under certain checks, means code indentation is properly, prettier properly, labelation, lint documentation, and each and every single thing. This is not a standard, this is not a mandatory thing. You can check each and every single thing from your code. In my case, let me tell you how many checks I have done and before my PR getting merged in their main. Okay, so this is my PR that I have opened and get merged, and in that where should I check, and I just need to, okay, there are 91 checks that I need to go. Okay, so here you can see 95 checks. Okay, and all of this are in a green. There are some PR issues by their side, that's why they have forcefully merged my request. Okay, hoping you got my point. So this is the entire CI/CD pipeline. So in my case, push feature branch, open a pull request, then CI runs on PR, lint, type check, build and test, then preview. What I want, this is completely on your suggestion as a software engineer. What I want, in my case, I want one preview deployer. Okay, this is not the main production instance, this is the preview for the test. Okay, cloud run pre per URL, test here, not production. Okay, then owner reviews your PR, approve the PR, main protected. PR plus review plus green CI means merge to main and deploy to production. Okay, hoping you got my point. So that's it. And what was the costing of this? Ideal warm web warm, 0 workers and 30 to 50 user, it can easily handle, cost us $20 to $30. Then at the launch time, if we suddenly hit the spikes, then $30 to $45 rupees per month. Busy, we have the 600 user, in that case $80 to $120 rupees per month. Spikes, we have the continuous spikes, we have instantly we get the 1500 users, then 2 to 300 rupees dollars per month. Okay, only the busy app scale, no wait spend. Okay, so if we have the our web is only the busy, then web can only be scale. Okay, not other. Hoping you got my point. So this is the entire system diagram. Okay, but this is generated by AI, and in this I need to use my brain very well to make this here. Also, there are lots of flaws in the system design as well. But let me tell you what AI will give to you if you don't know the system design. AI will generate this kind of gibberish, or maybe the worst than this. Okay, sorry, this one. Okay, this looks also good, but this is a time waste and you don't understand anything. So you need to invest your brain, you need to invest your energy to make the perfect system design. I don't say this is the perfect one, but this is the good one. Okay, you can easily scale down, and in this you can easily add the redis, you can easily add the kubernetes to scale only this, to scale only this, to scale only. But why we need the over complexity of our entire system? So you can easily make this. I have also make this using the help of my Claude. Okay, I have the eraser connector here. Okay, so feel free to use that, and hoping you got my point. This is a very good session that we have, and maybe if possible, if I get some good response, then we are going to make this in a real world, and let me give you the actual how should we implement this in this. Okay, so make sure to hit like button, hit subscribe button, and bye bye.